Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. I'm so glad you're here, because today we are diving into something absolutely massive. We're taking a fast-paced, really explosive look at how artificial intelligence is literally rewriting the reality of our major industries. We hear a ton about AI chatbots and image generators, right? But what we're talking about today is so much bigger than that. We're going to explore how the physical world around us, our bodies, our food, our power, our minds, and even our global security, is undergoing this radical transformation, like right this very second. Let's get into it. So I want you to think about this for a second. What actually happens when AI leaps from that digital screen in your pocket directly into the physical world? We are officially moving way past the era of software just processing text. We're entering a reality where data-driven intelligence is managing actual life or death infrastructure. And honestly, the speed at which this is happening is just staggering. Just to give you a sense of the sheer economic weight of this shift, by 2034, the healthcare digital twins market alone is projected to hit a mind-blowing $638.2 billion. That's billion with a B. That is an enormous tidal wave of capital flooding into one highly specific tech advancement. So you might be wondering, what exactly is a digital twin, and why on earth is it worth hundreds of billions of dollars? Okay, let's dive into this. A digital twin is basically a continuously updated virtual replica of a biological system. Think of it like a highly accurate, living simulation of your own body or your organs. Now, think about the traditional approach to life-saving drugs. It's essentially a 12-year game of trial and error. But the future? By running AI organ simulations, pharma companies can slash that development cycle down to just 7 years. They can virtually test how, say, a specific cancer tumor will react to a drug before it ever touches a human patient. It's a total game changer. And let's talk about the real-world impact here, because this directly benefits all of us. This isn't some distant science fiction. These are real businesses operating right now. Take Twin Health. They're using whole-body metabolic twins to hit a 74% remission rate in type 2 diabetes patients. That's huge. Then you have companies like Siemens and Pfizer using organ twins so surgeons can virtually rehearse complex procedures, which is actually reducing surgical complications by 22%. Plus, using continuous data from wearable biosensors, AI can now predict atrial fibrillation, a really dangerous heart condition, up to 3 days before clinical symptoms even show up. We're shifting from reactive medicine to predictive medicine. It's literally predicting the future to save lives. Which brings us to our first major prediction. Based on the current data, by 2034, we're highly likely to see the rollout of universally accepted patient digital twin passports. Imagine having a constantly updating, life-saving virtual replica of your own biology that travels with you across borders, instantly giving any doctor anywhere a perfect simulation of your health. That kind of predictive power in healthcare is incredible, right? But it sparks a really massive question. If AI has the power to heal our bodies, can it apply that exact same predictive power to the Earth itself? Like, can it actually cure our global food shortages? For thousands of years, farming has been a bit of a gamble. You rely heavily on trial and error, and you basically cross your fingers against the weather. But we're rapidly moving toward precision agriculture. This is where AI systems crunch vast amounts of satellite imagery, soil moisture levels, and weather patterns to completely simulate and optimize crop performance long before a single seed is even planted. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how simple the delivery can be for the everyday user. Take Microsoft and Icerset. They developed an AI sowing app that literally just sends SMS text messages to groundnut farmers in India, telling them exactly when to plant. And just by following those AI-timed texts, farmers saw a 30% higher yield. No expensive sensors needed. Over in Africa, systems like AgriSentry are sending similar SMS alerts to smallholder farms, drastically cutting down crop failures. And meanwhile, companies like AppHarvest and Plenty are using cloud-based software to run these massive, fully automated indoor farms. So it's super high-tech intelligence delivering really simple, life-changing results for ordinary farmers and consumers. This leads us perfectly to our prediction for the agricultural sector. We are rapidly approaching an era of precision sustainability. The data points to a future where global agriculture is going to rely almost entirely on interconnected AI and IoT sensors. The goal? To ensure every single drop of water and parcel of land is used with mathematical perfection, virtually wiping out resource waste. Let's move to and see how this builds into our next massive global challenge. So we've figured out how to feed the planet efficiently, but how do we power all of this new technology without destroying the environment in the process? The climate crisis is the defining issue of our time. And there is a really fascinating energy paradox here. Training these massive AI models consumes a ton of electricity. But deploying AI is actually the ultimate tool for fixing our energy waste. Today, we waste enormous amounts of power on inefficient cooling, and we rely on dirty fossil fuel plants just to handle sudden surges in demand. But the future relies on AI to orchestrate home solar batteries and manage these self-optimizing smart grids that balance supply and demand perfectly, in real time. And this brilliantly illustrates that the real-world impact is already here. Look at Google's DeepMind AI. It managed to cut their data center cooling energy by an incredible 40%. Tata Power is using hyperlocal AI weather forecasting to predict exactly how much solar energy is going to be generated on any given day. Then you've got companies like Tenet, Sunnen, and IBM networking home solar batteries together using AI to automatically supply power during grid congestion, which literally prevents blackouts. Even right at the neighborhood level, AI smart thermostats are cutting power use by 10%. That means directly lowering electricity bills for everyday families. The prediction here is incredibly optimistic, but it's totally grounded in data. Studies indicate that applying AI specifically for sustainability across key sectors is on track to cut global greenhouse gas emissions by 4% by the year 2030. To put that into perspective, that reduction is roughly equivalent to the annual carbon output of Australia, Canada, and Japan combined. That is massive. So AI can heal us, it can feed us, and it can optimize our power. But a healthy, clean world needs human innovators, right? Which brings us to a fundamental question. Who is going to teach the next generation how to build and manage these systems? We have to look at the human infrastructure, and that means education. The traditional model of education, especially in business and tech, is honestly facing a bit of an obsolescence crisis. Today, students are mostly learning from static case studies in these one-size-fits-all classrooms, which creates this huge gap between theory and actual practice. The future of education, though, it's entirely dynamic. We're looking at a shift toward AI-powered personalized mentorship and hands-on building in virtual reality environments. You won't just read about AI, you'll learn to build AI by using AI. And companies are already rolling this out all over the globe. Eon Reality, for instance, uses a 24/7 AI-powered brainy mentor that constantly adapts to a student's unique strengths and weaknesses. Platforms like VibeCoder are no-code engines, letting completely non-technical founders literally drag and drop sophisticated AI apps into existence. In regions like Southeast Asia, AI educational agents are acting as real-time tutors for students. The ultimate benefit for ordinary folks? Access. Elite entrepreneurial education and high-level software development are being democratized globally for as little as $15 a month. So, our prediction for education? Total disruption. AI integration is going to completely democratize elite education. Traditional schooling structures will rapidly be replaced by AI-guided digital incubators where students learn by doing. It completely closes that theory-practice gap with instant, real-world application of their ideas. We've seen how this technology empowers the individual, and it's super exciting. But we really can't look at the future of AI without facing a much more sobering question. What happens when the world's most powerful nations decide to weaponize this ultimate predictive technology? Looking objectively at the data on global defense strategies, there's a fundamental shift happening right now in how militaries operate. Today, warfare and defense rely on human-dominated command structures, but national security plans worldwide are moving rapidly toward a future where independent judgment on the battlefield is exercised by autonomous AI clusters, outpacing human decision-making entirely. To understand the scale of this, we can look at documents like the AI Social Contract Index 2020, which details China's new generation AI development plan. The source outlines the establishment of major military research organizations, like the Unmanned Systems Research Center. The texts cite instances, such as a 2017 demonstration by a Chinese university with military ties that simulated a swarm of 1,000 AI-enabled unmanned aerial vehicles finding and destroying targets. This is just one clear indicator of the rapid militarization of AI technology globally. The reality of AI as a tool of the state is very much a double-edged sword for everyday citizens. On one hand, national strategies actively recruit massive tech giants like Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent in China to rapidly develop these sectors. This tech is used for social governance, effectively managing smart cities, and tracking epidemics to protect public health. However, that exact same technology enables pervasive surveillance. The sources point to the controversial deployment of facial recognition technologies in regions like Xinjiang, as well as the rapid development of automated AI tools designed specifically for digital cyber warfare. So the crucial point is best summarized by a quote from Zheng Yi, a senior executive at a major defense company cited in the 2020 index. He predicted that by 2025, lethal autonomous weapons, military command decision-making would be commonplace. The shift toward AI exercising independent military judgment isn't viewed by defense experts as just a possibility anymore. It's seen as an absolute inevitability. We've seen how AI is going to cure diseases, optimize our global food and energy supplies, and democratize education for literally pennies. But we've also seen how it introduces unprecedented levels of surveillance and autonomous military power. Which leaves us with one final profound question to ponder. Are we truly ready for an AI-driven reality where our health, our food, our energy, and our global security are no longer entirely in human hands? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I will see you next time.